Welcome to the Simply Sales podcast. This podcast is where we share and discuss our experiences and ideas in the world of sales. Each week we will provide you with actionable content to help you improve your sales game. We hope you enjoy this episode. Welcome to episode 009 of the Simply Sales podcast. On this episode I'd like to share a story with you. It's my own personal story. It's part of my journey of the reasons why I am, sort of here where I am today. But also what it does is it touches base on values, and this is how confusing values can be, because you think you think that you're doing the right thing, but actually what you value the most isn't the thing that you're doing. And that may sound confusing at this moment in time, but let me just explain to you what I mean by that. So this is a true story. So none of this, you won't find this in a book or anything like that. This is my genuine, true story of my feelings, my values, and part of my journey. So I used to work in a car dealership as a sales manager. Now, the journey from home to work was approximately 30 miles, and it used to take me about an hour. Okay, so in the morning I would leave home probably around 10 to 7 o'clock, around that sort of time, and I'd get to work about 8 o'clock. Sometimes in the morning, because of traffic, it may take an hour and 15 minutes, hour and a half. Worst that it was ever, there was a burst water main, and the worst time it took me like 3 hours, but on general it was probably around an hour to an hour and 15 minutes in the morning to get to work. So I get to work around 8, 8:15. Now, we started work at 8:30, and my personal preference was always to get there at least 15, 20 minutes or so beforehand, because that gave me enough time to compose, plan, anything that I may have thought about on the way to work. And it gave me enough time to just get ready before the sales guys got in. So I would travel an hour or so, 30 miles to get to work. I would spend all day at work. Okay, obviously working in the sales environment as a manager and as a salesperson, it has its ups and downs. It can be stressful and so on. The working day generally would finish at 6:30 in the evening. However, most days I probably wouldn't leave there until around 7, 7:15. Then, guess what? I've got that journey home again of approximately 30 miles and another hour. So by the time I got home, most evenings it was around 8, 8:15, give or take. In the evening there was less traffic because of the time, so sometimes it took me less time. But the point is, on average, I used to leave the house at around 7 o'clock in the morning, and I'd get home around 8, just after 8 o'clock in the evening. Now, we have a young family. At the time I had a 3/4-year-old daughter, a partner obviously who I hadn't seen all day, obviously because of the distance. Obviously it made everything a lot more difficult. She was on her own. She was having to look after the baby, and I told myself the reason why I was doing what I was doing was to earn the money, so then I could use the money that I'd earned and obviously take that money and then spend it doing things that I love with the people that I love, and that's that was my family. However, the process of me doing this daily basis of going to work, getting home at 8 o'clock, actually had the opposite effect. Yes, I was earning decent money. Yes, I could provide us with a certain type of lifestyle. It wasn't an extravagant lifestyle with, brand new cars and, like a 5-bedroom detached house or anything like that. But it was a comfortable life that we had, and we had enough money to be able to do the things that we wanted to do when we wanted, within reason, without having to, worry about the cost of it. Now, that was great. However, actually what it did do was it had a negative effect on my relationship with my partner. Now, I did what I did because of the love of my family, and I wanted to give them the wonderful life that they deserve. Now, my value at the time was the love of my family, and working hard and earning enough money to bring them all the good things that they wanted was the reason why I was doing it. Now, in that process, I neglected my family. I wasn't spending the time with my daughter. My daughter barely knew me. I was basically a stranger to her. And that's, in all honesty, a very sad thing to say, but it was the truth. And I was unhappy about the situation, but I kept telling myself, no, Phil, you need to go because you need the money, because you need to provide for your family, and that's the right thing to do. And in reality, the whole situation, everyone was unhappy. I was unhappy, my partner was unhappy, but we kind of knew or thought that was what we had to do to survive. Now, I kept justifying the fact that I was unhappy didn't matter because I was doing it for my family, and that was the most important thing. Now, because of my actions, the opposite reasons were taking place. Now, I had the goal of earning a lot of money for myself, for my family, but in reality, everyone was unhappy. So when we know our values, we're free to find the best way to satisfy our deepest needs. Also, living our values during the journey keeps us motivated. So the point of the story was, I thought I was doing the right thing. I thought I was doing the right thing by working hard, earning the money to provide for my family. But in reality, it was having the negative effect because, I was a stranger to my family. I was a stranger to my daughter. I was unhappy because of the journey and the time. I was working 6 days a week. I would have a Sunday off, but then every Sunday, obviously, we'd go and visit family or we would do things. And even then on the Sunday, I may take 15 odd phone calls from salespeople asking me advice or asking me for help and so on. And obviously, I loved doing that, but at the same time, I was neglecting my family. Now, fast forward 7 months, and I'm in a completely different situation. I'm sat now at home recording podcasts. I've got a little office at the bottom of the garden, which is fantastic because it allows me, some space where I can go and I can work. And I've changed my work-life balance, and it's been flipped on its head. Now I spend more time at home than I ever have done. And over the last 7 months, this is genuinely fair to say, but I've spent more time with my daughter in the last 7 months, and I've built up a more of a greater bond and a greater friendship and relationship with my daughter in the last 7 months than I have done in the last 5 years. And that's so, such a sad thing to, for me to hear myself say that. But the reality of it is, I'm in a much happier place because I get to spend more time with my family. Yes, I earn now, less money, and my financial situation is different, but ultimately my family balance is much better. So for you may find that you're in a similar situation. You may find that you've been in a job for sort of 5, 6, 7, 8 years, and now you've built these commitments up, a mortgage, a car payment, insurance, Sky TV, a new sofa, whatever it may be. You may feel that you've got a noose around your neck and you're trapped. But honestly, if you understand your values can then help you set goals, which then help you get out of those sticky situations that you're currently in. Now, I'm 32 and I made a career change at 32. And I see there's a lot of stick online about making a career change and doing it in your 30s is a cardinal sin. But believe me, if I can prove anything from this, it's to prove that actually, do you know what? I was 32. I changed my life. I changed my working career. I changed the situation, and now I'm so much happier. I have a better relationship with my partner. I have a better relationship with my 5-year-old daughter. And it genuinely is. It's amazing. So something that you can do to try and understand your values, which are then going to help you set goals, is you can ask yourself some questions. Now, everyone has values, and anyone that says that they don't have values just doesn't know what their values are yet, and that's fine. Values are a state of mind, and they're a principle of action, and they are usually abstract. For example, You can have a value of love, honesty, fun, health, respect, relationship, integrity, loyalty, security, friendships. They're all values. Now, where you put them on your highest, on a list of the highest value to you, that's personal to you. Everyone's different. Values are like fingerprints. Everyone has a different value because they perceive things in a different way. Now, if you're not aware of what your values are, then that's fine. Some questions that you could ask yourself that will help you to identify your values are: what's important to you about X? What if you did something, what result is that going to get you? And is that result then what you were looking for? Is that what you were hoping to get out of it? And if it's not, then why not? You can ask yourself what matters to you. What do you get? What do you get out of doing this? Yeah. So, as an example, if you said, what's important to you about family? Well, that then could lead off into, financial freedom. That could lead into loyalty. That could lead into health, because everyone wants to have a healthy, happy family. Everyone wants to feel loved, and obviously there are times where, sometimes you actually repel, and that may sound a bit weird, but and a bit strange at first, but I'm a firm believer that what you can manifest what you want. It's not, you can't just sit there and go, hey, I want to win the lottery, and then on Friday or Saturday get the jackpot. You can't just sit there and picture it or dream about it. You have to work towards it. But to be able to work towards what you want, you need to understand who you are, where you are today, and then what you need to do moving forward to then help you get to that situation. Now, if health is something that's quite high on your values list, which it should be on anyone's value list, because for me, one of my values is health. Now, why is one of my values health? Obviously, the most important thing is obviously I want to be around. I don't want to, I don't drink, I don't smoke, and the reasons behind that is because in 25 years time, I want to, walk my daughter down the aisle. Well, if I'm killing my body by, drinking excessively on a daily basis or a weekly basis, then I'm just decreasing my chances of being able to do that. And that's too important for me. So, that's the reason why, I don't smoke and I don't drink, because I value being able to see my daughter walking my daughter down the aisle in 20 or 25 years time. I value that more than maybe having an alcoholic drink or having a cigarette now and then. I value that more, but I understand that. So you need to go away, have a look at your values, and understand what you value, what's most important to you. Again, write down your top 5 values. Okay, write them down on a piece of paper. There's a saying, I can't remember who said it, and I can't remember exactly what it is. So, I do apologise if I completely make a hash of this, but writing down goals and values and stuff like that, writing it down and seeing it in your own handwriting just helps instill it into your subconscious mind and into your brain. Writing stuff down, the hand movement of holding the pen, writing, and seeing it at the same time as you're doing it, just embeds it into your mind and into your subconscious brain. So write down your top 5 values, what they are to you, and then break them down. So write down your 5 values and then say, well, why is that important to me? Yeah, it could be respect, it could be freedom, it could be loyalty, it could be security, and work out what your values are. And then once you've worked out your values, you can then work out what you want, why you want it, and how you're going to get there. And you can do it with confidence and clarity that you're doing it for the right reasons. And like I said, going back to my my story that I told you at the beginning, I thought I was doing the right thing by working hard, working long hours to make the money for the people that I love. But actually, by doing those things, it actually had a negative effect on that relationship, for the people that I loved, and it just wasn't working. So I urge you to go away today, write down your values, write down your top 5 values. If you want to talk to me or, message me or ask me some more questions about this, then I'm more than happy to, to respond and have a conversation with you about it. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this episode. We hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, we'd really appreciate it if you could leave us a 5-star review on iTunes or Stitcher. If you would like to connect with us, you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Simply Sales Podcast. Alternatively, you can head over to the website simplysalespodcast.com.